Hi, welcome to Build a NeuroNinja in Learning. And over the course of lockdown, there'll be a couple of videos every week looking at habits. We'll look at habits to support learning and we'll look at habits to support well-being. So let's dive in. Habit one, how do I get stuff done every day? Basically, in order to get the most out of our amazing brains, we need to understand a bit of how they work. So our brains are very complicated, lots of circuits, lots of networks. At the front of our brain is an area called the prefrontal cortex. It's behind our forehead and goes in the length of a thumb. That is the part of the brain where we make our plans and where we put our plans into action. Whenever we want to do something, the prefrontal cortex is the place that makes that plan and puts it into action. So the skills we need to make every day a success is we need to have a plan for every day. If we don't have a plan for every day, our brain will try and do things that are passive and easy. Why is that? It sounds a bit lazy. Is our brain a bit lazy? It's not just your brain. Every brain tries to save energy. So passive and easy means using pre-existing neural architecture. If we're learning something new, if we're doing some new experience that's a bit of a challenge, that requires more effort and energy from the brain. More connections need to be built, more communication needs to be made. That it requires more energy. So brains, unless they have a plan, will do things that are passive and easy. So in order to make the day happen, we need to make a plan. We need to plan our work. We need to plan our rest. We need to manage our time, so slot up our day. A slot of work, a slot of rest. A slot of work, a slot of chores, a slot of work, a slot of rest. We need to make sure that the day has a good plan and that we're clear about what we'll be doing when. We also need to make sure that we change each day the plan, because it's really important that the plan is a little bit different for the brain every day, because otherwise it's going to get boring just having a plan. We need to make sure that we're determined and we exhibit perseverance. So if we said we're going to do our maths at 10 o'clock, we're going to do our maths at 10 o'clock. When that learning comes online at 11:30, we need to make sure that we're there at 11:30. We need to make sure our plan is flexible and responds to the different needs that we're going to have during the day. And we need to make sure that our plan is designed around self-control. And in order to maximize self-control, we need to be balanced, making sure that we're engaging in well-being and work. We need to make sure that we're supporting all of these areas of self-control: balance and calmness and determination and willpower and confidence. These are all skills that sit inside the prefrontal cortex, skills of executive function. The brain is like a noisy hall full of people. Imagine an assembly, a very loud, noisy space, and then the prefrontal cortex is the person at the front that calls the brain to order. All those different circuits are called to order. It calls the brain to order, and it then orders the brain about. It decides what the brain's going to do. Now that takes effort and energy. So how do you plan your day? You plan it at the level of activity. So you plan using a daily management system. You divide your day into 5 sorts of activity: cognitively demanding activities. So there'll be remote learning, the lessons that are required by your school or college. You do those lessons. You put around those experiences deliberate rest. We'll talk about that in a second. You plan in, where you've got space, interesting activities: a bit of reading, watching a documentary, a bit of creativity. These are not as cognitively demanding on your prefrontal cortex. They're more engaging and interesting. You put in fun activities every day: a little bit of fun at lunchtime, a lot of fun in the evening. You put in a bunch of chores. That helps build willpower, and you build in your 12 rocks of well-being. And that way you can help keep yourself in that green curiosity zone during the course of the day. So there'll be the schoolwork based around those remote lessons and the work that's set in those lessons. There'll be interesting activities, there'll be fun, there'll be chores, there'll be deliberate rest to try and keep ourselves in that curiosity zone. When you get bored, you do something on the left of this graph to get you in the green. When you're suffering from anxiety or feeling a bit antsy, you do something on the right of this graph to get you back in the zone. And you make sure you build in and plan your rest every day, just like you do your schoolwork. And there are other videos available on our website and through your tutors around how to manage the 10 leaps in learning. But there'll also be information on those during the course of these learning and well-being videos released during lockdown. Don't forget, if you don't plan each day, your brain will choose easy and passive. So get stuff done by planning your day to make sure you get your work done and your rest in. Do this by making a new plan every day. That's the first thing you do in the morning. You make a plan for the day. Make each plan a little bit different so you don't suffer the boredom of just doing the same routine every single day.